Hi, I'm Dr. Rich. So recently a viewer of my how to make a bleaching tray video, I'll leave a link up this way to it, asked how do I make reservoirs on the models before I make the bleaching tray. So typically I don't use reservoirs. I just make the trays onto the models themselves, and that's more than enough space for the bleaching gel to kind of squeeze in there and ooze out. The reason why you might want to use reservoirs, the reservoir might enable more gel to stay on the tooth and whiten the tooth a little bit faster. I find it most of the time it's not necessary, but if you're interested, here's a couple different techniques I've learned over the years as to how to make whitening trays. Let's head on over to the close-up camera and I will show you what I do. All right, so we have the model. First thing I'll do is I will trim this base off on the model trimmer. You don't need this much material. I'll just usually leave 1/4 inch, maybe 5-6 millimeters underneath the edge of the teeth. Same thing on the inside. We want to get rid of any of these big blebs and stuff. We want to make it easy for the material, for the tray material to kind of drape over it when it's nice and warm. And so what I typically do, once that's all trimmed up and ready to go, I'll just use a waxing instrument. This is a PKT #1, named after some dentist. So this was a waxing tool that we used in dental school to wax up teeth. It's basically just round on the end. Let me try to get you a close up, not sharp. Just a round ball on the end. You can also use a Dycal applicator if anyone still has some of those kicking around the offices, their office, you know, back of a cabinet, back of a drawer, since Dycal's kind of been out of fashion for a while now. And what I'll do is I'll just take this and at the gum line of each tooth, I'll just drag it gently along the base, right where the tooth meets the gum. Now you don't want to use a lot of, you don't need to use a lot of pressure, you don't need to use a lot of force to dig this in. You just want to make a little score line. You know, if there's any air bubbles, you want to remove those off, pop those off, and just go around for each tooth. And so that line, now when you make the suck down bleaching tray over top of it and you remove it off the model, you'll be able to see a crisp line on the right where the tooth meets the gum, and that's the line you want to trim the plastic back to. So it gives you a handy guide to see what you're doing, so you know that you're not going to have any of the tray covering the gums on the cheek side. Also, since it did create a tiny little depression there, and the tray will kind of sit down into that, so you'll get a much better seal and it'll keep the gel in the trays and off your gums. So that's typically all I do. Now, you can do some reservoirs if you want to. Let me show you a couple techniques that I know. One is the more high-tech, expensive version, and then I'll also show you a really cheap, easy, quick one. All right, so the more expensive version is to use some blockout resin. This is like Cure. It's made by Ultradent. A bunch of different brands you can use. I mean, you can even use expired flowable composite if you have some in kicking around the office and you don't know what to do with it. So you'll just take this and on the side of the tooth that you want the gel to stay, the whitening gel to stay on, you'll just kind of put a thin layer of this. Some of these are a little bit runnier than others. This one's a little stiffer, so you get all these little weird little peaks and valleys, but usually not too bad. Put that on there. Take your curing light. I'm using my trusty Velo Grand, and then you zap it with the light. Close your eyes. All right, 10-second cure is plenty, and now that's hardened up. So now you do that on every single tooth you want to whiten. What I typically do too to save gel for patients is the teeth without crowns, like say assuming these two teeth were crowns, I'll actually trim the tray back so it's not covering them and only extend it to as far as the teeth are actually going to be whitened, because as everyone knows, you can't whiten crowns. They will not change color. Especially, you know, any type of porcelain will not whiten. Whitening gel won't do anything to it. So that's one method of doing this. That's, like I said, that's the little bit more expensive method, since you do have to use, you need some blockout resin and you need a curing light. Now let me show you the less expensive technique. All right, so for the less expensive technique, I just have some dental stone. This is just white stone, not plaster, just white stone. You can use yellow stone, whatever you want to use. Take a little bit, put it in a plastic cup. I got some water, got a new model. And for this though, you do need a paintbrush. And so for some reason in dental school, they made us buy paintbrushes again to help with our waxing technique, for some smoothing. I have a bunch of them. So you want to mix up the water with the dental stone, and you want it actually to be fairly runny. You don't want it to be the thick consistency like you would have when you're pouring up the model, when you're actually making the model. You just want it a little bit runny now. So then you take your brush, dip it in so you get some of that plaster and water slurry, and then you just take it and then you just put a thin coat on each tooth. Takes a little bit of practice, but not, it's a pretty short learning curve. You want to just keep it on the side of the tooth. The material flows well and it dries fairly quickly. You can see it there. And again, you just go ahead and I'll just paint this up. A little too much there, not a big deal. Also, it kind of ran off this back corner here. Let me just dab a little bit more. If you mess up like that and you just let it dry out a little bit. And the thing too with your little cup of slurry is you want to stir it every so often, because the stone tends to settle a little bit. But again, just a thin little blob, and that leaves just a tiny bit of reservoir space. Let me see if I can zoom you in a little bit so you can see that a little better. And again, you go around and you do every single tooth. And now what I do, once you do every single tooth, I'll take my PKT #1 instrument and again, just trace at the gum line where the tooth and the gum meet, just so you get that nice line. And so this tooth, remember I messed this one up, I added way too much. That's the beauty of it. It's not quite set up, so you can just kind of scrape it away gently. Again, you don't want to push so hard that you're really digging into the stone cast. You just want to lightly score that line so that when you do the suck down part and you take the whitening, the plastic off the stone model, you can see that line, and you can take your scissors and trim up real close to it. I'll probably have to make a close-up video of how I actually trim those trays back. All right, so I hope that answered your questions, everybody. Any further questions or comments, please leave them down below in the comment sections. I try to reply to everybody when I can. It was easier when I first started out. It's a little tougher now, being over 100,000 subscribers, but I appreciate it. I'm doing this content all for you guys. I hope everyone's learning about it, and the more knowledge you have, the better you are. You got to be your own advocate nowadays for everything, it seems. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one.